Urban legends never fail to pique our curiosity with stories of mythical creatures and unusual happenings. These tales are an integral part of American cultural heritage and offer a glimpse into the history, values and fears of the people who originated them. Welcome to part 4 of this video series as we continue our dark tour across the United States and explore some of the most spine-chilling urban legends from every state. This legend tells of the story of a mysterious entity that appears during the darkest hour of the night. It's said that La Mala Hora is a harbinger of death and misfortune, and those who encounter it are doomed to suffer its wrath. Some believe that La Mala Hora is a manifestation of evil, while others see it as a warning of dangers to come. The origin of the La Mala Hora legend can be traced back to Spanish colonialism in New Mexico, when a beautiful and vain Spanish noblewoman was visited by the devil, who promised the woman eternal youth if she gave up her soul. She unfortunately agreed, and the devil cursed her to wander the earth for all eternity, appearing only in the hours of midnight and 3 a.m, also known as the witching hour, which is considered to be a time of heightened supernatural activity. Initially appearing in the form of a beautiful woman, she lures her victims into the desert with her enchanting voice and then reveals her true form, which is that of a hideous demonic creature. Some have reported feeling as though they were being suffocated or choked by an unseen force, while others have claimed that they were paralyzed with fear and unable to move. Overall, the legend of La Mala Hora is a dark and foreboding one, and those who believe in her take great care to avoid crossing her path. Whether she's a real entity or simply a product of the human imagination, her story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of tempting fate and the consequences of disturbing the balance between the living and the dead. No doubt you've heard of the Bermuda Triangle, but what about the Bermuda Car Triangle of New York City? Or more accurately, the Bermuda Car Triangle of Midtown, as cars mysteriously die in a few block radius around New York City's Empire State Building. Many people think the phenomena could be caused by more than 30 transmission antennas on the 102-story building. According to the New York Daily News, there's about 10 to 15 cars that become stuck around the area every day. Yet when the cars are towed about 4 to 5 blocks away to the east or west, they miraculously start up again. Automotive experts and engineers believe the problem may stem from radio frequency interference that's jamming the remote keyless entry system of the vehicles. These remote systems operate on specific wavelengths assigned by the FCC, who vehemently deny having received any complaints regarding the interference affecting vehicles in Midtown. And Empire State Building officials also don't believe the claims. Many witnesses, however, beg to disagree, which leaves us with the question whether the FCC is covering up some sort of radio frequency interference brought about by unknown activities, or is it some unknown paranormal activity that exists right in the heart of one of the world's most populous cities? The Devil Devil's Tramping Ground is an urban legend from North Carolina folklore about a circular clearing in the woods where the devil allegedly paces back and forth on certain nights. Despite repeated attempts to plant vegetation in the circle, nothing ever grows there. People have tried to secure the bare areas with sticks and other obstacles, but these obstacles are always cleared by morning. There are various theories and explanations for the mysterious phenomenon. Some believe it to be a spiritual or supernatural occurrence tied to local Native American tribes who created the bear circle with their ceremonial dances, while others attribute it to geological or natural factors. Soil studies conducted by the North Carolina Department of Agriculture seem to prove the soil from the mysterious site is sterile due to extremely high salt content. While this specific explanation may seem the most plausible, it doesn't account for the fact that anything placed along the path mysteriously disappears not long after. Sanitariums are for the most part gone, and somewhat considered an oxymoron. Meant to help people heal or house patients unable to function in society, they are often associated, though, with just the opposite. Built in the early 1940s, Sandhaven Sanitarium was once the home of over 900 patients with tuberculosis. After that, it was known to house patients with developmental disabilities until it was closed in 1989. The sanitarium was plagued with rumours of patient abuse and neglect, and it's believed that the ghosts of these past patients still roam the corridors of Sandhaven, seeking revenge. Among the ghosts of the patients, the urban legend also includes the tale of a ghost hunter who was hired to substantiate the rumours of paranormal activity that plagued the place. In a cruel twist of fate, his death came at the hands of the very ghosts he was trying to expose after they pushed him down an elevator shaft. Now, it's said that his ghost also haunts the building next to the very spirits he was chasing. The legend of the Melon-heads of Lake County, Ohio, is an old one going back generations. Supposedly, if you go out into the woods at night in Lake County, you might see some people with extremely large heads staring at you out of the tall grass. Their origin story consists of two popular legends of how they came to be. Both involve a man called Dr. Crow. In the first, Dr. Crow was a mad scientist who took in stray and abandoned children, but only to perform torturous experiments on them, injecting chemicals into their brains, causing their craniums to grow abnormally large. After years of abuse, the Melon-heads had enough and brutally killed Dr. Crow and burned down his facility, leaving themselves homeless. In the other variation of the legend, the government was responsible for doing the experiments on the children, not Dr. Crow, which resulted in their grotesque large heads. These kids were then sent to Kirtland, where Dr. Crow discovered them, took them in, and apparently cared for them. His house was said to have caught fire by accident, but again, the children were alone and took to living in the woods to survive. In both versions, it's said that mean-spirited locals began calling them Melon-heads because of their bulbous heads, and over the years, the name stuck. And so too did the reported sightings. Beaver Dunes Park in Oklahoma is known as one of the best places for ATV riding, with over 300 acres of wavy sand dunes. Also, it's well known for strange occurrences dating back to the times of Spanish explorer Coronado. The sand dunes were renowned for being some of the most dangerous in Oklahoma's panhandle. Native Americans warned Coronado of this, but the stubborn explorer did not heed their warning. According to his journal, while exploring the area, 3 of his men disappeared into paranormal flashes of green light without any sign. Ever since, accounts exist of other people having simply vanished into a mysterious alternate dimension in the same way. No definitive explanation has ever been given, but it's often thought that the poor souls were unfortunate victims of what has since been named Shaman's Portal. Along the sandy shores of Oregon, you'll find a small coastal town of Cannon Beach. Along its seemingly normal highway, stories persist of a mummy-like ghost patrolling the area looking for victims. During the Second World War, sawmills in Oregon saw an increase in production, and along with it came a dramatic increase in accidents. One such accident tells of a logger who slipped and slid onto a saw blade, leaving deep gashes to his entire body. Upon arrival of an ambulance, medics wrapped his entire body in bandages. When speeding off, the ambulance crashed on Highway 101 near Cannon Beach. Police arrived only to find unconscious medics at the scene, and the man wrapped in bandages gone. Years later, a young couple parked along a secluded section of Highway 101 heard ominous noises and could smell rotting flesh. Clearing their foggy windscreen to reveal a terrifying image of a bloody bandaged man banging on the front of their car. They frantically sped off and saw no more signs of what they witnessed, apart from one piece of bloodied bandage left on the side of their car. The legend says that the bandaged man is a ghoul or a zombie looking to feed on flesh, wandering around Cannon Beach, his spirit forever tied to the place he perished. And the story goes that if you're ever driving along Highway 101 and the smell of rotting flesh invades your car, the bandaged man is near. A mysterious bus belonging to Philadelphia's Pennsylvania transit system is said to have no set destination and drives around the city picking people up who are at their lowest point of hopelessness. When the doors clunk open and you step inside, the driver does not ask you where you want to go. In fact, no one speaks at all. Those already on board the bus are seemingly absorbed in their own inner struggles. It's said that some people have been riding the bus for years on end. The length of the journey depends on how long it takes you to recognize and fix the behaviors that brought you there in the first place. When you get off the bus, you won't be able to recall any of the other passengers or how many people were even on board. Some say that if you ride the bus long enough, you'll one day end up being dropped off back to before your troubles began. Apparently though, if your heart is bright and your spirit buoyant, it's unlikely that you'll ever see the bus to nowhere. There's a hotel in Providence, Rhode Island, that's been an inspiration for some of the most unsettling stories to ever grace Hollywood screens, influencing the Bates Motel from the classic Psycho and the haunting Overlook Hotel from The Shining. But as horrifying and well known as they are, they don't even really hold a candle to the infamous Biltmore Hotel from which they draw their inspiration, for this place in Rhode Island has a past far more sinister than any writer could ever dream up. This hotel was built by Satanist Johann Leslie Weiskopf in 1918 with the strict purpose of doing the devil's work. Designed with the occult in mind, from rooftop areas where chickens were kept, used to supply weekly blood ritual sacrifices, to the underground dugout springs used to channel blood throughout the evil place. With a plethora of real horror stories, like ones of mafia butcherings or high-powered corrupt law and government officials that were given free rein to commit and cover up their brutal crimes, this unstable environment festered a breeding ground for the most heinous acts imaginable. The legend states that all of these deaths resulted in hauntings, ensuring spirits of the murder victims remain forever trapped within the Biltmore Hotel walls.
You think you can be forgiven?
South Carolina folklore tells of evil souls who remain behind after death and become skinless, vampire-like witches. These creatures will sneak into your house while you're sleeping, steal your breath, and then wear your skin. They'll then parade around, masquerading as you. According to the legend, when you wake up, you won't even know you were visited by the monster. Instead, all you'll feel is out of breath and tired, not knowing what hellish acts were performed the night before in your own skin. Some even say that people were often blamed for committing heinous acts that were actually done by the vampiric witches while inhabiting the bodies of random people. That concludes this video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more content. There's one more video in the Urban Legend series and I'll probably get back to cryptids. Anyway, I appreciate anyone watching and subscribing, so thank you. Until next time, goodbye.